Hello. I want to tell you about one of my favorite plants in aquarium hobby. At one point, I was criticized for selling plants and not explaining how to take care of them. So that's why I'm kind of teaching now and trying really hard to help people succeed with their aquarium plants, because it took me a long time and I did kill a lot of plants. So what you don't know about me is I had a huge garden. It was outside my house. It was ornamental. I had all kinds of expensive specimens, and I started building that garden when I was 30. By the time I turned 48, the garden grew, and it became too much for me, so we sold the garden, we sold the house with the garden and moved. We moved last year. It's been almost a year since we moved. At that point, I think some of you have met me because I gave away a lot of plants, sold some plants, sold some of my equipment, and I'm kind of chasing debris as I'm talking from the surface. So I kept aquariums. I started in my 20s, but I wasn't very good. I just kept fish. I didn't really have any plants. Like any beginner, I would put like too many fish that don't go together into the same tank, and experienced all the stuff that beginners experience. So now when I'm older and I don't have that huge garden, which I can't really take care of, I have done more, like I was more focused on my aquatic hobby, and I've kept plants for a long time. I've kept a lot of plants. I've eliminated a lot of plants. As time goes on, I will grow some and then like remove the others, etc. So I'm always kind of on the chase of what to grow next and what's interesting. I think when I grow everything in this hobby, then I'll be done. But that will be never, because there's like millions of plants. So what I've learned is that the most beautiful plants don't have to be expensive. And many of these plants are not good sellers for the pure reason that people don't know about them. And I'm not sure why they don't know about them. I think fish stores are promoting always the same type of plant. Whatever their supplier can get that to them very cheaply. And they also promote really easy plants, because they don't want the customer to buy a plant and then, they come back and they say the plant died. Well, the nature of keeping, gardening or underwater gardening, everything has a learning curve. And so I just wanted to show you one beautiful plant that is absolutely gorgeous, and it's very, very cheap. This plant I'm touching, this plant grew really huge. It's not this big, like when you get it, it's like a little tiny thing. But it takes a long time to grow. It's called Cyperus Helferi. And Cyperus Helferi is a very cheap plant. You can get it for $6. It's really inexpensive. It's a root feeder. You plant it like you would, any like val or crypts. And this plant is a very, very slow grower. And I'm not kidding. Like, I think I've had this one like for 5-6 years. I've moved it a few times, like its location. If it has optimal conditions, it will grow big like this. How beautiful that is. Cyperus Helferi, I've seen it in PetSmart in tissue culture, believe it or not, like sometimes. And I am not sure why this plant is not more popular, or like why people are not asking me about that. Because it is gorgeous. The thing is, with its slow growth, you can't really like produce a lot of it. You have to like divide from the bottom like you would crypts. And I don't know if that's the reason why, you don't see it more. But honestly, if you try to buy this plant, it's only $6. And the reason it's so cheap is because people don't know about it. People buy what they've heard about, what somebody told them about. So Cyperus Helferi likes low to medium light because it's very slow grower. It is prone to algae. And so that would be true of like your anubias or anything that grows very slow will have that algae issue. And so, you have to kind of like maintain really like clean tank conditions to avoid the algae. And, in time you'll be rewarded with a specimen like this. I have a few smaller ones here and there. I've kind of never eliminate them from my tanks because they're non-intrusive. They're slow, and I think the only problem with them is the algae. That algae can, cover the leaf. If it does, like it did here, so see, that's algae on the leaf. The snail is eating it, and the shrimp is eating the algae. But if the leaf looks so bad, you can just like take the whole leaf all the way down. You don't want to like cut the tip of it. You want to take the whole leaf down, and you just keep shooting new leaves. It's very slow. So this plant, I've heard that CO2 is recommended. Although I've grown this plant when I didn't have CO2 and it did fine. I think the key is just good substrate. So like root nutrition and clean water. And I cannot stress that enough, how much plants love clean water. If you don't have clean water, they will not photosynthesize. They kind of don't like to live in the muck. Like fish, plants like clean water. So anyways, when you're shopping for your plants next time, look for Cyperus Helferi. It is really worth your time. It is so gorgeous, light green, and it's a cheap plant. The only reason you don't see more of it is because it's darn slow. And as you spend more time doing this, you kind of start to like plants that don't grow crazy, because when they're too fast, they create so much work for you. But when they're slow, it's like more enjoyable. Here's the top view of it. Oops, I'm gonna move the light. How beautiful is that plant? Cyperus Helferi, $6. Thanks for watching.